that's very important, because if you sit back and think about it, when you look at the child support industry, they closed the fiscal year for 2015 at $3.9 billion with a B. And when you think about that type of money that's being received in the state of Texas for assistance, it seems like there should be more programs designed so that we could get more educated and more knowledgeable of what we need to do as fathers versus go get an attorney or bring me your check stub. So what we're looking to do is create some more programs to help us understand process, procedures, get attorneys and those who are willing to volunteer their time to help those who are unable to, read or write, to help explain those things. Get more mediators who can facilitate a peaceful resolution versus everything being confrontational. But again, like Reed said, it takes money. To get the facility, to buy the material, to get the training material, to ask someone to come out and spend a half a day. You want to, give them something for their time. And by us getting together as a team of fathers, via a father of one or a father of 100, and joining together and helping educate, the young, the mid-age, and then us baby boomers, we can continue to pass that wisdom on. But again, it requires all of us to get our affairs together first. Secondly, to make sure that we are fully aware of the pros, the cons, the process and procedure in which we're going through. I always like to use the analogy of a football or basketball or some type of sport. You go there and you are what, 5'10", 180 pounds. But what are the linesmen? 300, 3.5. And you can start thinking, I really don't want that guy to hit me. Or you take it to the hole with a nice smooth crossover. What's the center? 6'11", 7-footer. Not sure I want him to block my ball, So what do? You come up with a different strategy to do a different crossover. Maybe take a three-pointer. Or if you're playing football, you maybe do a slant and fall down or run out of bounds, But you always come up with a strategy that helps you overcome your adversity when you're doing sports. But why can't we do that when it comes to our fatherhood? Why can't we do that when it comes to being non-custodial, custodial parents for our children? Why can't we do that? Why are we so quickly to throw our hands up and say, you know what, she said I can't sing. And then we'll walk away. I did a search, a study, Mountain View College, about 3 years ago, and it was hilarious. I had some guys on the front row, and have the keys that flick out to the key or the wireless key, and I put the key in my pocket. I said, borrow your key, put it in my pocket. Then I turned around, and the guy had a little prepaid code. I put that in my pocket, and I did my presentation, and I turned to leave. Those guys did the Matrix coming out of their seat, and you start thinking, this guy was going to rip me apart. Why? Because I took his car key, and I took the other guy's money card. Take that same guy, drive over to the non-custodial, custodial parent house, but you can't see your kid this weekend. What are you going to do? They're going to leave. They're not going to be combative. They're not even going to try. Why? You mean to tell me my car or my money card have more value than my child? You go get your car, find out how to keep it tuned up, use the best oil. You go into programs, you learn how to save your money, you learn how to cut costs. Well, how many of those guys go sit down and take a lesson on how to do a proper exchange? Got a facility right here. How many guys out there in Dallas, South Dallas, really know this is here and how to use it? And we did a 100-guy survey up and down Martin Luther King that passed through here every day. How many would actually know this is a facility you can utilize if you have a mother who's less than workable, for lack of better words? That's where we, as fathers, part of baby daddies, part of dad's fathers, can educate those guys. You're not in this by yourself. There's those that are here will help you understand the process and procedure. There are those that are there that will sit there with you. There are those who also help you read to fill out the paperwork. And for those who can't be here, there are those who record the stuff. They can look at it at home in the privacy of your house. Then you can text and email them and answer your question. Those are little things as a collective group of fathers who have one agenda. That's just to be a dad. not a baby daddy, not a deadbeat dad, not a financial supplier report, none of that. All I want is I laid down and created this child. Now I want to get up and train this child. Perfect example as you were saying. Now let's take it to the next level. How many of those who have made those mistakes? You know, as kids, you put your dukes up one time too many, or just shine a little glitter thing in the window and you grabbed it and snatched it, or time got hard and you made that quick drug change, or worse. Now you really got your tail tucked between your legs down because, man, I can't go back down there no more. So you run even faster and you stay gone even longer. Why? And then you're trying to get back in there no more. But then, here's living proof. Didn't even know you 10 minutes ago. Now I'm gonna be your new best friend, you know, because we need more guys who are willing to say, yes, I made a mistake, but I'm gonna use it as a tool of education than my excuse to cop out of my responsibilities. And that's the easiest thing to do. Well, hey, I can't get a job, so I can't pay my child support. Deuces. You walk away.
Hey, what's making visitation so hard?
You know, one of the big things I see visiting exchange is emotions. You know, when you are in a relationship and you're dating someone and things go sour, you just don't like high five each other, shake your hand and say, okay, you know, and move on. There's a lot of emotions. It's very interesting you asked that. I do the Dad's Father's TV network, and I interviewed an attorney, and the subject we talked about was domestic violence. And specifically, we talked about domestic violence during a visitation exchange. And how often you go over there, 6 o'clock, with your paperwork, in your car, but then you can't get your child. Everything from, oh, she busy, or we have plans, or whatever. Then you get mad, raise your voice, she pushes you or call you out or put a finger in the face, you pushes back, and then you got strike 2. So it's emotions. What I liked about the thing, and you can log on to the Dance and Follow TV, it's a 2-part series. It tells you not only step by step how to avoid it, but it also tells you the consequences of not avoiding it. So knowing you have a baby mama or the mother of your child who is emotional, who upsets easily, who really don't want her child, as she may say, or our child around your new girlfriend or your new wife, again, learn the process and procedure how to neutralize that. Because it's real easy to say, oh, well, I ain't trying to go to jail and stay gone. What if there's a way you can learn the proper way to do an exchange, like coming here? What if you can learn a proper way to go somewhere else or change something? Who to call, who to talk to, what to do. Same way you try to learn a different crossover or a different slant or in and out in sports. Why not learn the different ways you can be a better father? Utilize the system to help you versus hurt you. Because you're going to pay regardless whether you see your child or not. So that's not an issue. You'll pay. The question is, if you're truly, sincerely trying to be that father, you're sincerely trying to be the best dad you can be, as he said, and you got to put in the time. You know, a lot of people who are doing football, they don't work out once a week, 1 hour a day, once a week. No, you see them in the gym 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, 5, 6, 7 days a week, year after year after year after year, and they still don't perfect what they're trying to accomplish. You know, and I've been a dad for what, 32 years, and I'm still learning. You know, I'm still learning from my little bitty young son to my teenage boy, and now he's a grown man with his own family. They ask questions too. The kids grow up, but they don't grow away. You know, so you're constantly evolving, but the best thing about it allows you to transfuse all those years of mistakes, like you said, so that my boys know the path that I took. You know, my boys all knew that I was a whippersnapper. You look at me wrong, I'm ready to put the dukes up. Let's get this over with. You know, and that got me into more troubles than I can shake a stick at. Now, you know, my son, you know, went through that same phase, but now he's teaching his son not to follow his daddy, his granddaddy, and his daddy footsteps. So really, you know, getting involved with the baby daddy, getting involved with the Dad's Father's organization, you're going to be a part of something that's really trying to educate and empower young men to be better daddies. Anybody can be a father. You know, they ask you on the birth certificate, who's the father? That's a nice way of saying, who's the DNA donor? You know, but then when you say, yeah, that's my daddy, it could be my stepdaddy. It could be my granddaddy. It could be the friend of my daddy. But it's always the daddy who makes a difference. Fathers are the DNA donors. So if you're sincerely trying to understand how to be a better person for your child or children, I was fortunate and blessed. I had 2 and 2 boys, 2 girls. So I know the emotional attachment to your daughter, but also the pump the fist pride of having the boys. And unfortunately, my youngest daughter was a little bit of both, you know. She was all off into sports as well as a girly girl. So she'd get on the mat and do her grappling and be like a tomboy. Then afterwards, she went to get her nails done. I was like, really? I don't want to figure it out. But the main thing is get educated. You know, understand exactly what exactly are you up against. When it comes down to child support or being a father, it's not just reaching in your pocket paying money. It's a whole different world out there, and it's not just you know, running away when responsibility hits.
Mike, I just wanted to find out, just for a second, you mentioned child support. Can you talk a little bit and elaborate about the connection or lack of between child support and visitation? Because I find so many times, a lot of times, fathers think that because they're behind on their child support, that's a reason that their court-ordered visit is, you know, they can't see their kids. So can you address that a little bit?
Right. Again, great question, by the way. If you go out to father.tv, that same video there, we did a 2-part video called Child Support versus Visitation. And it was actually, what, a 7-part taping, and it explains the full step-by-step process as it correlates or relates to child support and the role and responsibility of making the payments. Then it also turned around the role and responsibility of visitation. Most of us men feel like, well, hey, I pay my money, so I am entitled to see my child. Well, you know, if you're paying child support, yes, the court order says you do supposed to see your child. However, if that is not being allowed, then that's where you have to know the knowledge on, now, what do I do? Do I run down to the Office of Attorney General? Well, a lot of us understand the Office of Attorney General, you can look at them as a very powerful collection agency. Mm-hmm. How often do they really help you in that area of refinancing your loan, giving you a credit? They have one agenda, collecting the revenue of the funds. Also understand sometimes if the mother of your child is getting some type of government assistance, that puts you in another whole bracket. You know, and when it comes down to visitation, that's a whole separate avenue when you're looking at the child support industry, I'm gonna call it, because even though you're paying your child support and the mother denies you visitation, you still have rights. But like anything else, you have a certain process you have to go through. You have to go through a certain process. You can't just go over there and snatch your child, because now you broke the law. You know, you have to know, okay, did I document? And that's one thing in the training video we created. The attorney said, document, document, document. Because you can walk in and say, oh, she didn't let me see my child. Or you can turn around and say, here's 10 documentation, police reports, videos, or whatever, showing I was there at this time and I didn't get my child. Or I called over there, talked 2 seconds, and got hung up on. Now, you're not talking, you're documenting, proving a violation of a court order, not irritating you. This is the order. 2 parents, 1 order. So with that, I strongly encourage each of you, and I have some cards if you need the website, look at those 2 videos. And if you have any question, it allows you to respond or send us a question and we can get some help for you. Because at the end of the day, if you're not taking that serious role and responsibility of being that father to take care of your kids, who will? Who are you dependent on? The mama's the one you're fighting, so now who's left? Who's going to do it? State? Office Attorney General? So like, I love that Tracy has this here in South Dallas, because prior to here, I think the closest one was Plano. you know, and then they charge an arm and a leg and a pint of blood.